COD 3 Plus. Very exciting. Obviously at this point now you're starting to look after a lot more than just one person. So you tend to take on some more responsibility. With responsibility comes added kind of, I suppose, challenges and things to jump over and deal with. There's a few different things, but trust me, down the line you're going to be really grateful that you went through them, because all these different challenges are what makes you really good. So when you're down the line, you're running a really big team, you know how to deal with these different things, and obviously in turn you know how to teach other people and coach other people how to deal with the same things. The first thing I want to talk about is when you're recruiting. You've probably got a couple of guys in your team now. I remember at that point I had 2-3 guys in my team directly coached by myself, and I was trying to hit my 4th and 5th first generation team members. And I was struggling. I used to go in the field, I used to take people out on a second appointment, show them a great day in the field, show them great sales, and for whatever reason they weren't motivated and my retention wasn't very good. And as we all know in this business, retention is a huge part of what we do. So a couple of points I suppose on that. First thing is, and this sounds a bit funny, but remember, you were retained. I was retained this business. I don't consider myself a genius, but I also don't consider myself an idiot either. And I was motivated to come and work within this industry. I was motivated to come in every single day, work really hard. I was excited. I was ambitious, and for me, it was good enough for me. It's good enough for everybody. Second thing to remember is, we all know this, but what really excites people about our business is the fact it's good fun. You're hanging out with a team of like-minded people, it's enthusiastic, it's a good fun environment, and at the end of the day, you have a laugh. The other thing is obviously a chance to make some great earnings, to really kind of have some really high earning potential. There's very few places in the world where you can kind of dictate how much you're going to take home every week. We're one of those places that you can do that. And the last thing is that bond, that teamship. I used to love playing sports like rugby and football, and one of the things I love about building a team was having that team camaraderie, that team banter if you want, and that's something we can offer people as well. So that's a couple of things to be really aware of. You are retained, fun, relationships with money, that's important. The next thing I want to talk about briefly is spotting talents. How do you know who to work with? Sometimes we'll have a guy that we're working with and they tell you everything you want to hear. They tell you, I'm really motivated, I'm really ambitious, I want to succeed. But when it comes to the crunch, they just don't have that final 5 or 10%. So sometimes, and this is the first thing, it's not the guy that talks the best game, it's the guy that acts the best game. Sometimes the best guys I've seen in this business are the least assuming. They're the guys that weren't the loudest in the room. What they did have, and this is where you're looking out for, is they're looking for a work ethic. Guys got to be able to work hard. You and I, we work hard. That's why we've got a team of people around us. They're able to apply information. There's no point, you can't get blood out of a stone. People have got to be malleable. You've got to be able to deal with people. So people need to be able to take direction, and they need to apply that direction. And lastly, I want to see that they can apply the information, it makes them improve, that I can see a steady progression. Because if I'm working with a guy and they want to do really well and they're working really hard, but they're just not getting better, sometimes it's easier just to start working with somebody else. The old adage is it's easier to give birth than to raise the dead. I'm sure you've pretty heard that before. So kind of focus on that, and remember, you're looking for people to improve. The next area 3, is attendance and timekeeping. The industry that we work in, I've never told anybody what time they have to be in work for or have to be in the office for, and I've never told anyone this is you've got to be in this number of days a week. It's not how I operate. I've never begged anyone to work on my team. I've never tried to convince anyone to do what we do. All I'm going to do is I'm going to tell them when I'm going to be in. I'm going to let them know that I'm going to be in the office at 8:30, at 9, 9:30, 10, whatever it is, and that I'm going to be there. And if they're there, I can work with them, I can coach them, and I can educate them. Now, that's all I can do. I can't make them. What I can do is I can encourage them. And how do I encourage them? I encourage them by providing them education. I encourage them by, showing them how to do what I do. I encourage them by, making sure that every morning they do come in, that there's something for them to do. They're not just turning up to sit around and waste time, but they're coming in, they're getting some bang for their buck, I suppose. They're coming in and they're actually improving. And that day, directly in the field, they get to apply that information, and then they're excited about coming in early the next day. I'm not going to tell someone to come in. I'm going to make it really cool for them to come in. I'm going to show them what they can achieve. I'm going to show them what's available for them if they decide to do what I've decided to do, which is obviously build a team and progress through the business. Point 4 is dealing with sales. So sometimes you have the issue of low sales in your team, and sometimes it's not an issue, but you'll have high sales in your team, and you've got to know how to deal with both. Obviously with low sales, you've got to find a solution. You've got to identify what's going on, work with people, get them retrained, find somebody who's like them to help retrain them with you, learn how to highlight, identify what it is that they need to improve on, work on little small things. Remember, most of the time when guys' sales aren't where they want to be, it normally boils down to their attitude. They're losing their attitude, they're losing their focus, so you got to remind them what they're focused about, what they're motivated about, or the other thing is they're just not working hard. So what do? I work with them in the field. Doesn't mean I'm jumping into customers' houses, or I'm standing on the event site doing sales for them, I'm going to show them sales for sure, but really I'm going to run the tone of the day. I'm going to manage their attitude. I'm going to help them and make them understand, the importance of staying focused. A lot of the time it's not about, massive mechanics. It's not about the magic pitch, which we all know doesn't exist. It's about lots of little small things, and normally it's a kind of a cultural tone thing. Get out there in the field with them, show them how to sell, show them how to succeed. They say you can't push a piece of string, you got to drag it. So drag that piece of string in the field and show them how it's done. Point number 5 is, guys, attitudes. Obviously understanding that some people are focused and some people are motivated by other things. For myself, I was always very focused and very motivated about, setting a target to buy a suit or buy a pair of shoes. Down the line, I was always about cars. But I know not everyone's like that. So sometimes it's about getting them focused about hitting a goal. Sometimes it's about focused about maybe even taking some time out sometimes. Maybe it's like you hit this target by Thursday night. Well, Friday, Saturday, go do your thing, hang out with your partner, enjoy it, spend time with your kids, go see your parents, get in the car, go for a drive, go away for the weekend, whatever it is, and give them that focus. Remember, when someone loses their attitude, there's a reason for it. There's a reason why they had the attitude in the first place, which you've got to identify, which is what they're working towards, their why, and there's a trigger that makes them lose their attitude. Normally, it's something they've heard, something they've seen, a feeling they've got, a negative they've received. And ideally, if you can spend time with them, you'll appreciate what it is that does that. And then by kind of identifying the problem, well, then you can find a solution. People having a bad attitude isn't like, it's not a crazy magic thing. It's the reality is something's affected them. If you can work out it is, well, you can help them sidestep, you can help them avoid it. And that's really, really important. So that's point 5. Point 6, guys on your team, I bet you a lot of you guys have asked this question. A guy on my team, I've got lots of first gen guys, but nobody wants to build a team. Part of me always asks the guy, well, do you make building a team look attractive? When a guy's on your team, do they look at you and go, oh, I'd like to have that person's role. That person's role looks fun, it looks exciting. They get to run cool crew meetings, they get to go to different meetings, they get to learn a different cycle of development. Are you promoting this stuff? Are you networking? Are you getting on calls? Are you building your brand? Are you building your reputation? Are you making your role look amazing? Do they want to do what you do? I know I want to do what Simon Murphy does, so do they want to do what I do? That's the question I always ask myself. So making sure you're making it look attractive. Also, the other things of that is continue. Make sure you develop more first gen. But don't just continue to develop them, not kind of churn them out. Take these guys with you, bring them traveling, show them other people. Maybe they don't see themselves in you. Maybe they don't see themselves doing what you do. So maybe you need to find somebody who they do. Maybe you want to find someone who's like them, so that they can maybe it's in another office, or maybe even another country. But get them talking to them. Maybe you can find them where they look at a guy and like, oh, I'm like that guy. Maybe I can do what he does. Give them the confidence. Let them believe in themselves. Give them reason to believe. Highlight all the great things they can do. Make them believe. That's the most important thing. Most guys don't build a team because they don't think they can. You got to show them how easy it is, how able they are. Right. Point number 7. Dealing with different personalities in your team. Sometimes you'll have guys in your team that you're chatting to and you just maybe don't click. You don't have the same interests and hobbies. You're not from the same background. You maybe not the same age. You might not be the same ethnicity. Whatever it is. Lots of different reasons why you may not have a lot in common. And sometimes guys get frustrated by that. Honestly, for me, I love that. I love the fact that I've got different guys on my team with loads of different stories, loads of different characters, because for me, every single different guy is a different recruiting channel. If I've got 10 first gen and they're all completely different, one guy's a graduate, one guy's a sportsy guy, one guy, is I don't know, he's a little bit older, they've got a young girl, maybe an older lady, maybe someone's got kids, someone hasn't. Now I've got somebody on my team for every type of personality. So now I can recruit anyone. I can bring anybody into this team and they can relate to somebody on my team. That means I've got to be pretty good. I've got to be really versatile. I'm the chameleon, I suppose, in this sense. I'm learning to work with anybody. I'm learning to deal with lots of different types of people so that they don't have to. And then as they get better, they'll learn to diversify and they'll learn how to attract different types of people too. And their recruiting channels will open up. Then my team will get crazy big. But for me, I'm the person that has to really learn to appreciate and understand that it takes all sorts, different types of people, different structure, different focuses, they say. So that's really, really important. Next thing, who to work with and how. I kind of touched on this already. For me, who do you work with? As your crew, as your team gets bigger, you've got to make sure you make time for everybody. You got to remember, yes, your core people are important, but also so are your new guys. So are their new guys. The simple rule is I start on stage 5, so the assistant owner is the most senior guys on my team. They're the guys I see first thing in the morning. Then the guys on stage 4, then the guys on stage 3, then the guys on stage 2, and then the guys in their trial. So basically, the more experience, the longer the business, the earlier they come in. If they want my time, they've got to come in earlier to take advantage of my time. In the evening time, at night time, I want to deal with the stage ones first. The guys in the trial, they got to be the first to leave the building. Then the guys in stage 2, they're the next to leave. Then my new leaders, those guys, I want them out, I want them excited, I want them fresh because they got a big day tomorrow.